Is this a fake in blood? Oh, it's quite a chunky book. Oh, I'm a bit worried. I don't know if I actually want to read this book. No, I've seen what it is. Hi everyone, the video I've got for you all today is I've decided to blindly pick the books that I'll be reading in this reading vlog. So what I've done is I've taken a stack of 20 books that are on the top of my priority list that I'm super interested in reading, and I've wrapped them up, and then I'm just going to randomly select by using a random number generator what books I'll be reading in this reading vlog, and we're going to see over the next week how many of these 20 books I'm able to get through. And the books I've chosen consist of some fairy loot books. I've then got some romances. I've got some YA fantasies. I've then got contemporary romances. So I've got a selection of books. And yeah, I don't think there's any point waffling on any longer. So I'm going to get my random number generator set up, and then we'll see which book will be the one I'll be reading. Okay, so I've now set up my random number generator, and what we're going to do is we're going to generate now, and we'll see what my first book is. So I've generated it. Is that an 8? Oh, it's an 8. Okay. I'm love how I'm already worried about this, and I literally don't know what the book's going to be. So we'll count 1, and we're going to go from the top. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm actually so nervous. Like, I don't know what it is, and you can kind of see through the wrapping paper, but so I don't want to look closely. But this is my first book. It's a love heart one. Okay, let's actually do this. But oh, I'm nervous. I'm actually really nervous, which is ridiculous because it's literally just a book I'm going to read. So let's just open it up and see what my first read will be. Oh, should I show you guys first? Oh, okay. And it's a paperback, I can feel that. And it's quite a skinny book, so that's kind of a blessing because it will be a short read. Okay, I'm closing my eyes. I don't want to see it before you guys can. Oh, is this a fake in blood? No way. Oh, oh my God, this is actually really, really good. And it's on my July TBR. This is actually a perfect first pick. So the prompt card that I drawed in my TBR game was a challenge card, and this is a game that's inspired by One Piece, and it's called One Piece Pick a Book. So if you've somehow stumbled on this video and you haven't seen my TBR game, I'll link it in the description. So this is a fantastic first book to start off with because I'm literally knocking off a book off my July TBR. This is perfect. So, sorry, I haven't told you what this challenge card is. So that is to read a book with a female perspective. And it fulfills this prompt because when I looked at it, it was a single perspective first person story. So it definitely will fulfill that prompt unless somehow there's like a second perspective. But I didn't think there was because when I was like looking in this book, the chapters don't have character names, so I feel like it's going to be following just a single perspective from a female character called DM. So I'm so happy. This will be my first read. Okay, so I'm here to give you my update because I finished reading Spark of the Everflame by Pencol. And overall, I think I'm going to rate this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, we'll go with that. So, in this book, we're following a character called DM, and it's set in this world which was colonized by the gods, and humans are now ruled over by the Descended. So we're following Dim, as I've already said, and she is a human healer, and one day something happens to her mum and she disappears, which you find out as you read more into that. But because of her mum's disappearance, that means that she ends up for some reason going into the palace where the Descended lives. And that's really all I want to tell you about this story because I feel like it's very much a story that's best to go into blind. And also, literally nothing happens in this book. So if I told you much more than that, I would literally be telling you the whole premise of this story and like everything that happens, because it's a 400-page book, but it really wasn't until the end that it really picked up and got super interesting. But I had a really good time with it, even though DM kind of got on my nerves and I found her a bit annoying. There's just something about her character that was endearing to me. But the main person who I loved was Lufa, who is, I think, the potential love interest of the rest of the series. And then also DM's brother, I can't remember his name, but he was so sweet and I loved his character so much. But I feel like even though this book was a first-person narrative, I feel like we could have really benefited from seeing from Lufa's perspective, because I wanted to find out more about his character. And because we were only following it from DM's perspective, we really didn't get to learn much about him because of the way this story fell. But I think that also kind of worked as a benefit, because it meant I was more invested in finding out about him as a character when we got to see him from her eyes. And the ending, oh my god, was so intense. The reveals that were happening at the end were insane, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the second book. But I don't know when I'm going to actually pick up this second book in this series, because the fourth book's not being published until next year, I don't think. Like, the tentative date's July next year. So I really want to take my time with this series, because otherwise I'm going to forget what's happened, like, by the time I get to the fourth book, and then I'm just going to have to reread them. Whereas if I spread the series out over the next year, it will be easier for me to remember what happened, even though I really do just want to dive straight into the second book because of the way this ended. And there was some characters in this book that really annoyed me, but I remembered what I was trying to say. I hate when this happens. But going back to this book being a single perspective novel, this meant I fulfilled my prompt of my challenge card of my TBR game. So this was definitely a single perspective novel. So I've knocked this challenge out of the park. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about it being a single perspective, but I needed to read a book with a female protagonist. So this book obviously fulfilled that prompt. And I think the reason why I was going on about this being a single perspective novel is because I was looking for a story where we're following a female protagonist and it's a single perspective novel. So yeah, obviously I fulfilled that. I've managed to read one of the books off my July TBR. This was a super, super good read. I had so much fun with it. And as I said, not much happened, but they're the kind of stories that I've noticed I really enjoy, because I feel like when nothing much happens, you really get to know the characters, and I'm such a character-driven reader, like it's not even funny. So when the characters are good, I will be so invested in the story, and I found that the characters in this book were actually amazing. Like, I loved them so much, even though DM got on my nerves on occasions. I kind of like how even when she did terrible things, she was always trying to do the best things for the people around her. But she did make some bad decisions, which is human of her, but it's like, girl, what are you doing? So yeah, this was a really good book. I had a good time with it, but it's not a new favourite. But I feel like the rest of the series has the potential, because the world that this book is set in is so interesting, and like the tensions between the human and the descendant I absolutely adored. It was just actually a really, really good read, and I was expecting to enjoy it, but I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, because I've been in the worst reading slump. Like, I've started probably 7 books recently and finished none of them. Well, sorry, I probably started like 10 and finished 3. So I've been really struggling. So the fact that I managed to read this book within a day makes me extremely happy. And yeah, this is a 4 out of 5 stars. So now I'm going to stop waffling on and we're going to move. So I'm going to go back to where my books are, and then we're going to choose my next read. Okay, so it's time obviously for me to generate my next number. I'm going to choose one of these books to see which one I'm going to be reading. So with my number generator, I've set it to 19. I don't know if you can see that or if it's too bright, so I might bring the brightness down. Yeah, that's better. So what we're going to do is we're now going to generate my next read. Okay, wait, did it generate? Oh, it did. I wasn't expecting that. So it's 16 this time. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. We're getting a star this time. Ooh. Oh, it's quite a chunky book. Oh, I'm a bit worried. I don't know if I actually want to read this book. because I don't remember what book I wrapped that was like a chunky paperback, because this is definitely a paperback. No, I literally cannot remember. So we're going to unwrap this book and see which one I've got. Okay, so I'll try and show you guys first. Okay, so we got it. Oh, I really have no clue what this is. Okay. So the book is Loved, redesigned by Lauren Asher. I'm actually super excited for this book because I love Lauren Asher. They're really just quick reads for me. I fell in love with the Dreamland Billionaire series. So I'm excited to dive into this book. The only thing that sucks is this is not a book on my July TBR, so we're kind of diverting from that. But this is exciting, even though it's quite a chunky book. Like, I kind of thought it could be this book, but I was not certain at all. So, like, this is a good choice. Oh, but it's 612 pages. So this might actually take me a couple days to get through. But because it's Lauren Asher, I might be able to binge this so quickly because I'm just obsessed with her writing. So, wow. I'll give you some thoughts once I've made progress into this book, or it might be once I finished it. Okay, so I'm here to do the next update because I actually managed to finish Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher way quicker than I expected. Like, last night I started reading this book and I literally binge read 450 pages. And this is only a 600-page book, so I got a substantial amount of the way through this book. Like, it was actually insane. I was not expecting that at all. So I should probably tell you what this book is about before I give you my rating. So in this book, we're following two characters, one called Raphael, I don't know how to say that name properly, and then Ellie. So Ellie is the nanny's to Raphael's kid, and she has had a childhood crush on him since obviously she was a child. But because of her position as a nanny, she's like, I'm never going to act on this. And Raphael is honestly one of the meanest, most horrible people at the beginning of this book. Like, the way he treated her hurt me so much. I was like, this is so mean of you. And like, I'm smiling, but it was honestly not funny. But as the story progresses, you find out why he is the way he is, and it like makes sense. But the first, I would say 200 to 300 pages, it was very much just all set up, so you were really getting to learn about these characters and the way they were before you could see any growth. So that was obviously a bit difficult to get through, and the start of this book was not my favourite. I didn't really enjoy it. So I think that's why at this point in time I think it's going to be a 4 out of 5 stars. But it has the potential to become a 5 stars if I continue to think about it, because even though I said that he was horrible at the beginning of this book and I really did not like him as a main character, as the story progressed and you learned more about his past, it makes so much sense why he was the way he was. And it's like, you can't really blame your behaviour on what's happened to you previously, but I can kind of understand it, which sucks, but it kind of made sense to me. So that's why by the end of this book, I loved Raphael so much. Like, he was so sweet by the end of this novel. He had such a soft spot for Ellie, and his kid was so cute because this is a single dad romance, and I love that element of it so much. So I really just had so much fun reading this book. And this is honestly the book that has made me realize why I love Lauren Asher's book so much. Because when I was reading this, I was like, this is the feeling I got from The Fine Print and Terms and Condition, which was really lacking for me in Love Redesigned and The Final Offer. Like, them two books by Lauren Asher I didn't love, but this book was up there. I don't know exactly where it would fall yet because I read this book so recently, and I read the first 2 series of the Dreamland Billionaires ages ago. And I'm so excited to have the 3rd book in my hand soon because it comes out in August. So I've only got a month left to wait, which is so exciting because I cannot wait to pick it up. I know I'll be diving into that book basically as soon as possible because the snippets that we saw of lead characters of that book in this one was so cute. Well, not cute. it made me really interested in finding out more about their story. And we also got interactions between Ellie's best friend and some other character that we only meet in this novel. And I don't know if this is true or if this is going to even happen, but it kind of felt like she was setting up for the next series after this one finishes. What's this series called? Oh, The Lake from Billionaires. It felt like she was kind of also setting up for that one. So I could be completely wrong with that, but that is my prediction, that we'll be getting another series following them two characters. So I'm going to say it now, and if it comes true, I'll be so proud of myself. So yeah, I had a really good time with this book. I just loved it. It was a very easy read. Like, I expected it to be a quick read because it's Lauren Asher, but the way I flew through this book was so surprising, because the fact that I managed to read 450 pages last night is actually crazy, and now I've finished it. So it's only taken me a day to read this book, which I kind of expected. Like, it's not the most surprising, but it is kind of surprising at the same time. So yeah, I'm so glad I managed to read this book. I wasn't expecting to read it this quick, as I keep saying, and it was just a really sweet, cute, heartbreaking story. Like, when I look at this cover, I'm expecting warm fuzzy feelings, and this book honestly almost made me cry, which I wasn't expecting, because I know Lauren Asher deals with heavy topics, but I just for some reason wasn't expecting it, which I should have, because it's like, obviously it's Lauren Asher. So yeah, it was a very deep story. It was a very healing novel, because the way this story progresses, you really get to see these characters heal and just become better people, which I loved. And even though Ellie's story wasn't my absolute like favorite, I found her relationship with Raphael really like sold it for me, because she's a songwriter and something's happened to her where her rights have been taken away, and that's like the backdrop of her plotline. But even she's got kind of a sad story as well, and just like, definitely look up your trigger warnings going into this book, because I wasn't expecting some of the things that were spoken about. So yeah, this was a 4 out of 5 stars, has the potential to become a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, and it's my second book of this reading vlog. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my pile of 18 books that I've got left, and we're going to choose my next read. Okay, so before picking my next book, I just realized one last thing I forgot to say about Love Unwritten was, this is why I'm doing this reading challenge, because it forced me to pick up a book that I wanted to read, but I wasn't anticipating getting to anytime soon, and I loved it so much. And that is what I'm really hoping for with this challenge. And so far it's been going spectacularly, and I hope I haven't just jinxed myself by saying that, but I've had a 4-star and then another 4-star. But I think the more I think about Love Unwritten, it will get higher. So yeah, that's all I had to say, and now we'll find out what my next book's going to be. So I've redone, let me turn this brightness down again. So I've redone my number generator, as you can see. And for some reason, every time I go back onto this page, it's changed the number, which really frustrates me. But I haven't generated it since. All I've done is I've changed it to 18, as you can see. So we're going to generate the next book. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Wait, has it generated? No. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, generate. Did it generate? Oh, let's try this again. Okay, so it's 17. Oh, that's scary. We're getting all big numbers. So it's 17 out of 18. So literally I can go back from the start. We've got another. Oh my god. No, I've seen what it is. No. I'll unwrap it so you guys can see. Wow. Yeah, this is something. So let me unwrap it. I didn't want to see what it is, but I saw it. Oh, because that was 18 and then this was 17. I'm excited, don't get me wrong, I am excited, but I should probably show you what the book is first. I'm very, very nervous about this. I'm so nervous, like. So let me guess it out for you guys. Maybe you can tell. It is Fourth Wing. I'm finally doing it. I am finally reading this book. I have been putting off reading this for the longest time. I jinxed myself. I'm so nervous. This is on my July TBR though, because I chose Dalton, and that is to read a book with a warrior character. So I was planning on reading it, but not right now. Oh, I'm a bit nervous. This is the book I'm so hesitant to go into because of just how much hype there has been surrounding it and how much people love it. I can't believe it's time. It's time for me to read Fourth Wing. So it's time for the next update of this reading vlog because I finished reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros last night. And overall, I think I'm going to rate this book a 4.25 out of 5 stars. It was so good. So in this novel in particular, we're following a character called Violet, and throughout her whole life she has been planning to be joining the Scribe Quadrant. However, things don't go to plan when her mum comes up to her and says, actually, sweetie, you can't do that. You need to become a dragon rider, which is one of the elite quadrants of the land to protect the citizens. So we're really just following Violet as she joins this military academy, learning how to become a dragon rider. And honestly, this was such a hyped book, so I was pleasantly surprised that it lived up to the hype. It was so much fun. I binge read the first bit so quickly, but then it took me a while to get through the second half of this story. But that wasn't because it was a bad book at all. It was just because I wasn't in the mood for reading. And this was a very bingeable book. It was very fun. It was a very interesting world. I found like the plot of this novel and the world is what made this book. Normally I'm such a character driven reader, but I found that the world was just so fantastic. And the characters were good, but the characters I didn't love anywhere near as much as I loved the world and the actual like plot points. However, one of my major complaints of this book is we would finish chapters at really interesting points of a scene, and then I wanted to see more. But then by the time we get to the next chapter, we've jumped ahead in the story. So there was certain interactions and certain meetings that I wanted to see happen, but I just didn't get to, which was so heartbreaking. Because then when I got to the next chapter, it was like a new day or a new like couple hours later. It was just felt a bit lacking because I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see within this novel, because certain chapters ended on such cliffhangers and I just wanted to see more and I didn't get to, which really hurt my feelings. No, it didn't hurt my feelings, but it made me a bit upset. I was like, I want to see more of this and I didn't get to. So that was a bit sad. I loved the dragons, and this book was actually darker than I was expecting. It was a lot more gritty, and this author is not afraid to let characters die, which I really appreciate. And she doesn't sugarcoat what it's like trying to get into the military and the life that these people live. And even though this is a fantasy world, it felt very realistic, which I really enjoyed. I just found it was so good. I loved everything about it, and the way this book ended, oh my god, I'm so excited to dive into Iron Flame, which is up there somewhere. Oh wait, oh you can see it's like right there. No, I'm not even pointing to it. It's the dragons. So I'm super excited to be reading Iron Flame whenever I get to it. But I feel like I'm going to drag this series out because similar to Spark of the Everflame, we don't know when the fourth book's going to be released. And this is a 5-book series, if I'm correct. So I want to take my time with it, because if I was just to binge read these books back to back, then I would have to reread the series when the fourth book comes out, which I don't really tend to reread. And even though I like to reread, I just never do it because, for example, I really want to finish the Flesh and Fire series, but I need to reread the first books. So I've kept putting it off because I just don't want to reread them, because there's new books on my shelves that I want to get to. So even though I like rereading, it's just I've got too many books on my TBR for me to feel like comfortable rereading, but I need to get over that. So that's why I want to drag this series out for as long as I can, because I just want to not forget the characters. I want to forget the world. And if I like space out the books, I'll be consistently in this world within the next few months, or maybe a year or two. So like maybe I pick up one book every 6 months. I'm not really sure, but this was really good. I loved it so much. And yeah, it was a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I don't know if my ratings have been right, because I don't know if this is my favourite book of the reading vlog so far. Like, I'm not sure. So yeah, a very pleasant surprise. I loved it. It was so good. And yeah, I'm going to say it again, I loved it so much. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog because unfortunately it has been a week. It took me 4 days to read Fourth Wing because I was just kind of not in the mood to pick up a book because I've been preparing for my exams and I've been watching videos and like TV shows rather than reading. So I'm very disappointed because I didn't get to read my beautiful more of my books and I didn't get to choose another one, but I really wanted to, but I couldn't because I didn't finish reading Fourth Wing until today. So I'm like, I don't want to unwrap these yet, but I'm not mentally prepared because maybe I can do something else with these books. I don't really know yet. So yeah, now I just want to wrap up this reading vlog. It has actually been quite good. I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed the books that were chosen by the random number generator, because these are books that I wouldn't have picked up straight away. Like, I was putting them off and was like, even though they were on my July TBR, I just wasn't planning on reading them like ASAP. So I'm glad that I've done it because I found some really good books. There's not one book in this reading vlog I've read which I didn't enjoy, because I started off with Spark of the Everflame. And I have been continuing to think about this book. Like, ever since I've read it, I still think about these characters. I still think about picking up the sequel. So maybe potentially this could be my favourite book of the reading vlog. So maybe it needs to get a higher rating. Like, maybe it's a 4.5. I'm not really sure, but it was very good and I still think about it. Then I read Loved Redesigned. This was also so good. I read it within 2 days. I loved it so much. And even though I loved this book, unlike Spark of the Everflame, where I'm like thinking about picking up the sequel and continuing on with this series, I'm still thinking about this book. This one, I'm just thinking about picking up the series because the story wrapped up in a way where I'm not left on a cliffhanger. I know what's happened. The story has concluded. So yeah, this was a 4 out of 5 stars. And then this was a 4.25 out of 5 stars. So honestly, yeah, these were the books I've read. Let me get them for you. And I loved them. They were so good. It was a very, very good reading week for me. I'm so glad I've picked these books up. And now I've got 2 new series that I'm super invested to continue on with. And then I've got 1 series that was a continuation. So I can finally wrap it up in August. And I'm prepared to do that because I know I'll pick that book up basically ASAP. So yeah, this was as I said, a good reading vlog. I got through some good books and I'm just going to stop talking so then I don't say the same things, and I'm just going to now wrap this video up by saying I hope to see you next time, and bye.